Twitter Spaces, the final frontier. These are the conversations of the Veve fam. Its 5-year mission: to explore new brands and to seek out new intellectual properties, to boldly go where no NFT company has gone before. Yo, what's the word, my Veve OGs, my OMI homies, and everybody else on YouTube? It's your bromy, the Gale, back at it again with a Veve fam Twitter Spaces video. What's up, guys? So, a few days ago, the Veve community had a Twitter Spaces discussion. If you're not familiar with Twitter Spaces, it's basically a platform where people can ask questions and stuff like that. So we had the leaders from Ecomi like David Yu and Dan Crothers in there, and community members were able to ask any question they wanted. And there were a lot of interesting questions if you weren't able to attend that Spaces, like questions about the blind boxes and digital comics and upgrades to Ecomi and the Veve app. So what the Gale did was he listened to it again, all 2 hours, at speeds unfathomable to the average mind, and he shortened it down to 35 minutes of the best questions asked. So that's what this video is going to be. So if you're interested in hearing about the future of Ecomi and the Veve app and stuff like that, then this is the video for you. So yeah, that's what you're going to hear, and without further ado, let's just breeze into it.
How do I own something that's digital? Do I own this digital collectible? And, how does that work?
Yeah, so, just to go back a few years, I guess, way back to the, early days of crypto, when blockchain came out, really what blockchain allows a user to do is have ownership over a digital item. And the way it does that is by recording your ownership in the blockchain. And really, just to give a very simple 101, the blockchain is essentially a ledger which cannot be changed by anyone, and therefore it can record any detail that it records is basically locked in place. So if you are recorded as the official owner of a particular digital asset on the blockchain, then the record of your ownership is locked in place, and then you are able to then transfer that ownership or send that ownership to any other user, either through your wallet or through a blockchain or through an app like Veve.
This is the first time you guys are doing 5 first appearances instead of 1. Is that the new norm going forward? Or are we ever going to go back to just 1 NFT being in the first appearance? Because in the comic books, they always narrow down the first appearance to 1 comic. Like they have the cameo first appearance, the first full appearance, and there's always that debate, but there's always one that becomes like the true first appearance. So I wanted to know if this is just kind of a test run, or this is how you guys will be doing it going forward, as in the whole set will be a first appearance.
Yeah, thanks for that. We, earlier we touched on about this, this is the first appearance of Marvel and NFT digital collectible, as well as Marvel's first Spider-Man. I just wanted to make sure that our audience understand that the reason why all of them are first appearance is, number one, we want everyone to have a chance to own a first appearance. We know the historical date this particular event is taking place, and number two is the same Spider-Man. So we couldn't actually sit there and go, well, which one of the rarities should be the first appearance, because they are all the same Spider-Man. When we designed the sculpture of this 3D character, they all come from the same design mold. They, unlike the Batmans we have done before, they were all different designs from different artists. And so when we decide which one was the first one that came in, that gets the first appearance because it's the first one that we brought into digital. But in this specific case, just this release, they are the same character. So we decided that they are all the first appearance. So we're not changing the formula. I mean, moving forward, as you understand, we have the first edition and the first appearance. And I just want to make sure everyone understand that the first appearance is always going to be an appearance of a superhero or a character coming into digital. The first edition will be like a Mondo artwork. It's a first edition that it's come in, or related to artworks or edition runs or something. That will always get the first edition. So just answer that, the first appearance on all of them, because they are all the same, and we want everyone to mark this history in the making that they can only all own one of these. And when we bought Batman out, and if I recall, Ben, I think we had like 55 users. So when we bought first appearance of Batman out, it was a very much lower run. But when you think about it, you have 55 users versus, nearly 500,000 downloads now. We had to do that.
We know that the Marvel Mighties are coming to the app in the coming weeks. However, I hear that these are exclusive to Veve and not found anywhere else. Will Marvel also allow you to label these as the first VE or Veve exclusives in the app? To be very honest, I only read that article this morning myself. I originally thought, man, we have a leaker outside me. I just want to make this clear. No. I thought we have a leaker in the room, and I read a newsletter, and it was in the Marvel news went out. Regards to the Mighty, Dan, I'll let you speak on this one.
Yeah, it is very exciting. The Marvel Mighties are a completely brand new line coming in from Marvel, and we've been working very closely with the Marvel team to bring out these new characters. And Granola, yes, you are correct. These are really exclusive to Veve. They've been designed specifically for the platform. They won't be available anywhere else, and we'll be looking forward to bringing out a number of series of the Marvel Mighties to celebrate all of the character sets within the Marvel universe. And also, just to touch on the Mighties, that they will also be our very first blind box or mystery box offering. Yeah. Through the platform, which is going to be really cool. Anyone in the room here who is a collector is probably very aware that a lot of products out there that you buy in the collectible space, they all come, and I'm talking retail here, physical retail, they all come in the same box, and written on the side it says there's 10 or 12 different collectibles in the series, and you don't know what you're getting until you open the box. And this is basically how it's going to work in the Veve blind box offering. So really excited to bring that out, and the collectibles themselves, or the Marvel Mighties, will all be a much lower price point, because we know that people are probably going to buy a few of them just to try and get all of the series. So the price points will be a little bit lower to allow allow our users and fans to buy a few to try and collect the whole set.
So my question is, in general, how much leverage is that due to the licensor? Is that more you guys? Is it like a wrestling match between the two, or how exactly does that work?
Yeah, so obviously we work very closely with our licensors, and each one of them has their own desires and outcomes. And I think with the Spider-Man series, this is one of the first character collectibles that we really had an opportunity to create from the ground up. So the asset itself has been fully customized and fully created for Veve. And as a lot of our OGs here know, that the majority of our collectibles, our 3D collectible statues, are mostly static. We have brought out some that are animated, but that's along the lines of, say, the Ghost Trap, for example. So a lot of extra work goes into these assets, especially with the animation. I was speaking to someone the other day and just saying that whenever you're doing animation, there's a lot of work goes into it, because the human eye very easily detects if it looks a little bit out of place, or, for example, if the elbow or the knee bend doesn't look correct, like if it just bends like a pipe rather than you would expect the knee to bend. So it's actually a little bit of both sides to answer the question. You know, there's some obviously influence from the licensors, and then from our side as well, the asset itself incurs a much higher cost because of that extra feature and functionality in the animation. Plus, with the secret rare, we have the really cool spiderweb effects, so special effects in there, there's sound effects in there, there's animation. So overall, it's just a more complex and comprehensive asset.
And just adding another note is that the collectibles that we have seen in some of the Veve stuff that come out, most of them are available as a physical collectible toy. This will be the one of the first few, major IP that we have landed where you can't actually purchase a physical one. They're never going to be a physical piece of this, what you see. So that also added in, as you probably know, a lot of these artists that we work with, a lot of them we're just really adding a colorway or on the existing toys that they have released, and just ensuring that we balance that what's going on in the physical world. But with the Spider-Man release, it's extra special. And we really don't want our audience to feel being put off because the price. We do have a $40 one, which is we stick to our normal common type of pricing, and the secret rare, like Dan had said, and the ultra rare, they are very, very beautiful. I mean, the textures on them, the movement, the sound, it's all been built in. All the bells and whistles is pretty good on this one.
A lot of optimism around kind of the new exchange. Obviously, OKEX coming on board, and the opportunities around Fiat to Crypto Direct now. But, there are a lot of us just saying, man, what's it going to be if we can get on a Binance, for example? So just wanted to really kind of get into, if there's more in the offing before the end of this year as it relates to new exchanges as well, in addition to the question about coin conversion. Thank you very much, guys.
Yeah, thanks so much for the question.
Sorry, Dan. If you don't mind, would you give just a quick, when you answer this question, just give a quick background into what Immutable is for those people who don't know? Yes,
absolutely. So right now we are migrating from one blockchain to a new one. The new one is called Immutable X. And there's been there's a raft of reasons as to why we're moving over. Number one is Ethereum based, which is one of the largest networks in the crypto or blockchain space. Immutable is really designed and set up to handle and manage NFTs. They've got low gas fees, and obviously Immutable has been rolled out on a number of other different digital collectible marketplaces. So really the whole idea is just to offer a better solution to our fans and users, and especially those in the crypto space and who understand that in a little bit more detail. So in terms of an update on the Immutable migration, it's going very, very well. I believe we're about 90% of the way through the migration itself, and the team has started on some of the early testing, and so far that's going very well. So we anticipate that that testing will continue to happen throughout the remainder of August, and we just want to be very careful with this migration. Obviously, there's we've minted a lot of NFTs. I think it's in excess of 500,000 or 600,000. So we want to make sure that all of these migration processes go very well, and of course, when we do move over to Immutable, you will be able to look up your individual NFT on chain, which is something that we don't offer or don't have in place at the moment. And then in regards to your first question with the gem to fiat, that is also coming along very well. I would say we're probably around 50-60% of the way through that. Again, a lot of the development is in place. It just really coming down to doing a lot of solid testing. And when we are working with these, anything to do with finance or money, there's a lot of compliance that we need to go through as a company as well. So we're just about to enter that phase of sign off with our selected provider. So very much looking forward to rolling out both of these new features. They've been a long time in development, and there's been a lot of work going on behind the scenes. And I can appreciate that there might have been some frustration from the audience that it's taken so long, but I do hope that everyone especially our OGs, do understand that David and I, we always try to deliver. I mean, obviously August is the new May, if anyone gets the reference from the exchanges, and sometimes out of our control, these things just there's roadblocks that come up or extra things that we have to tackle. So please be sure that we, behind the scenes, we are in discussions with a number of other exchanges. As we've mentioned in previous AMAs, we want to have to be on a few more exchanges by the end of the year. And of course, once we have fully migrated over to Immutable and we are Ethereum based, that makes it considerably easier for us to onboard with exchanges as well. So really our first step and our first phase here is to get the Immutable migration completed. And then after that, the waters open up a lot more.
One last quick thing. You said you saw record numbers today. Are you able to tell us what that record number is?
We still waiting to verify that number ourselves. Obviously, we get it from our Firebase, our database. But it is very, very positive. So I don't think I'm privileged to share that in public due to the confidential things that we have. Normally, we are very transparent. We think. Obviously, just the nature of NFT business and competition, as you know, is all heating up. We want to make sure that we keep some secret source to our chest. But it's certainly been very, very good. I mean, we've been publicized in almost every major newspaper publication, even up in Asia, in parts of Japan. I saw some overnight, a few major ones from China. And all talked about this NFT with Marvel. So that there's definitely a huge sign up, and we're very, very pleased. We couldn't be more happier.
Awesome. Thank you very much, everyone. I really appreciate that. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Ludwig, and thank you, David, for that answer. Yeah, we got to keep some things close to the vest, which means it's probably going to be on your Instagram later, right?
Yeah.
But with the Marvel article that just recently came out, you guys discussed, what was discussed in the article anyhow, was the blind boxes, the Captain America, and the comics. With that first question being said, would there be any chance that you guys could kind of go in depth about what the blind boxes are going to be about? And if they will be, once you receive them, you'll be able to keep them unopened, or will they just open when you get them? And then the secondary question would be, with all the Marvel fans coming on board now, in the short-coming future, would there be an update that helps search for users, such as if your friends got the app, you can search them up? Because as of right now, it's a little bit difficult with the features that we currently have.
Yes, I totally hear you on the ability to find other users on the platform, and that has been a big request from the community. So we've been scoping out exactly how we will allow users to add friends and follow them within the app. We've got other features on the roadmap, like for example, we be allowing users to do a direct sale to each other. So rather than have to post something in the market, for example, Eco, we could be friends on Veve, and then I could send you a sale offer, like, hey, buy my Spider-Man secret rare for whatever price it goes for in the secondary market. So yes, we absolutely hear you, Veve fam, and that is a feature that is hopefully will be rolled out by the end of the year. And then with regards to your first question, the when you purchase, they will be essentially opened. So we are at the end of the purchase process. On the purchase success screen, you will see what collectible you have been, what collectible you purchased from the blind box, and then those collectibles will just appear in your collection like in any other collectible that you have. That you purchase through the store. So the biggest difference in the blind box is that you'll go to the drop page, which lists all of the collectibles that are in that particular series, and then from that screen you'll basically hit a buy now button, and then you will, based on whatever is available left in inventory, you will randomly be assigned a collectible, and then randomly assigned an edition of that. So I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, it does really well. Thank you guys. I guess like the last small follow-up is would eventually in the future, would there be a verification Instagram or Twitter, if there's a celebrity on the platform that has a lot of followers, or if there's a really well-known individual, they usually have the little check. Would that be coming in the far future?
That is also another request from the community as well. So we have scoped that out around the friends, and really the whole friends thing is also has we've been scoping out an extended profile. Right now, the profile within the app is, it's cool, but it's a bit limited. So we'll be looking to add additional features in there. And then one of those is that we're looking into is the verification side of things. That will more than likely be a phase 2 rollout. We just need to internally just work out the best way to do that. Obviously, we need to get some information from the user to understand that they are who they say they are, in a very similar way that these sort of major social platforms do, like Twitter and Instagram.
Are you going to work to optimize the appearance of the collectibles on OpenSea when it does get to that point for the ones that can go there? Will they be optimized with the collection descriptions to the 3D model, or will it be a 2D thing like Terra type of deal? What will they look like, I guess?
Yeah, we're still working through the migration of collectibles to other platforms, and I've mentioned in a couple of other AMAs that a lot of the time that decision comes down to the licensors. Right now, the collectibles are licensed to be used and sold within Veve. However, the exciting thing is that this year NFTs have really come to the fore. Everyone knows, basically what an NFT is these days, and that's instilled a lot more confidence in the NFT market and with our licensors. They just have a better understanding of what these products are and how they can work. Now, the actual experience itself of the 3D assets will remain in Veve. Obviously, our whole platform is set up to cater for these sort of high resolution 3D assets. And the augmented reality. So really, and this isn't anything concrete just yet, but when and if those items are able to be transferred to other marketplaces, it will be the primary metadata, the edition runs, all the information about the licensors, and more than likely a 2D image will go with it as well. We do have to be a little bit careful about allowing the 3D assets to be sent around, because there's IP implications and that sort of thing.
My first question is, are you guys working on implementing some sort of way to track market activity from the Veve marketplace?
Yes, we are. That will be part of the web platform that gets rolled out. We are looking to do some extended features, like, for example, floor price history, a lot of those things that you would expect to be in there that are, relevant on other sort of NFT platforms. Obviously, the past, since January, it's literally been absolutely full speed and full on. So we anticipated we would like to have these features out before now, but there's obviously we had to spend a good 2 to 3 months back earlier in the year just getting the app far more optimized. So again, thanks to all the OGs who stuck with us through that crazy growth period. So we're always evolving the product and evolving the app with different features, and there's a lot of new stuff coming up for the market as well. Over the weekend, we will be doing some back-end updates to the market. Nothing really front-facing, but really just to make it a lot more optimized, make it a bit easier to use, and so on.
And then my second question is, what are some of the perks you guys have planned for master collectors?
You mean Magic the Gathering?
Master collectors, like what are some of the perks you guys have like planned for them?
Yeah, for Master Collector, we've got a bunch of things that we want to reward users for as they go up the level. And just to give a little bit of context for those people who don't know what the Master Collector program is, essentially it's a leveling and reward system within the app that as you collect more, as you participate in the community more, and do things like sell on the marketplace or post on the feed or share your showrooms, you will basically get points that go towards your Master Collector level. And then with each level, we will give various different rewards for that. So we are coming close to finalizing exactly what that's going to be. So I won't go into too much detail at the moment, because I prefer just to have that out, and we'll get Reese the man to publish one of his amazing articles on exactly what that's going to be. However, we know that it is hotly anticipated, and we have been working with people in the community to, get a gauge of what our fans and users want to see in the Master Collector program, really just to make sure that we're delivering what everyone wants.
Yeah, so I've got two questions. So I'll go with the first question first. So earlier you mentioned blind boxes, and I just picked up, you mentioned people might want to purchase a couple, and that just kind of surprised me. So that implies to me that they won't be that competitive to purchase if people are able to purchase a couple, because there are a couple of models that I've seen for blind boxes. For example, the NBA Top Shot one where you kind of reserve it. The Binance one was absolute mayhem. You can buy as many as you want and everything sold out in like 2 seconds, or less than that, actually, no, like 2 milliseconds. So I was just wondering if you could share a little bit more insight into how blind boxes might work on Veve.
Yeah, so they will work in a very similar way that they work in the physical world, where, we more than likely will have limits on them as to how many you can buy, but the whole concept around a blind box is that, really you can just keep buying until you get everything you want. The first maybe 2 tries, you might get 2 commons, and then the 3rd try, you might get an ultra rare, and perhaps you're happy with that, so you don't buy any more. Obviously, there'll be people out there who want to try and collect every character in the series, and so the whole thing around blind box is that you may end up having to buy 10 also in order to get the 5, all 4 or 5 characters that you actually want. So there is a possibility that everything will sell out in seconds. It all just depends how popular that is. Although I will say that the blind box offerings will be of a higher edition, mostly for that main reason, is that we want to make sure that people, do have an opportunity to get the full set if that's what they're after. And these ones aren't really designed to sell out in seconds like, we see with the ultra rares and the rares.
So my big question is, I know that Loki just ended on Disney Plus, and I just want to know, how big do you guys see you guys being with the Marvel Nation? I know the What If series is releasing and it is animated, so I wasn't sure if we might possibly see a Veve-verse in this metaverse. Whoever has not finished Loki, sorry, spoilers, but the way it ended, the possibilities are endless. So
yeah, number one, I loved the Loki series, and I'm super pumped for What If. It looks amazing. We won't disclose exactly what is coming up, because that would spoil the surprise. But we can absolutely say that we do have a very big line of Marvel content coming up of all your favorite characters So really just, watch this space. We're going to be dropping a few more pieces throughout August. And really we want to be celebrating all of the iconic characters from the Marvel Universe over the next couple of years.
Hello, guys. I just had a question about the Marvel licensor fee. So the question is basically, what happens to that 6% fee as it applies to the OMI token? Is it burnt? And do you also foresee other big licenses also imposing kind of their own fee as well?
Yeah, so to answer your first question, we will be burning whatever is taken from the secondary market. And, really we're right at the forefront of this new digital space when it comes to licensing. And I think as it evolves, one of the advantages to licensors is that they do have an opportunity to participate in the perpetual sale of a collectible, of a digital collectible or a digital item. So I personally believe that we will start to see more and more of that. And, that's where there's companies like Immutable X who are building platforms that really have this built in. And it's not necessarily just, related to us or to licensors. It would also extend to, for example, artists that might bring out a one-of-one. And then, every time that changes hands, they get a very small percentage of that sale. So it's still a very new thing right now. Most licensors or artists, they really get the first sale and that's it. But I do personally believe that we are going to see that landscape change over the next coming years.
Back when you guys built the Tokenomics, it was on the Go chain. So with the move to Immutable, will there be any changes to like the OMI token and the Tokenomics and everything like that?
No, really, the everything is going to remain as it is for the time being. The migration is quite a big move. Normally it's quite straightforward and quite simple to do a token swap or to migrate to a different chain, but because it's so heavily integrated into the app and into the product and into the tokenomics, we really don't want to be introducing too much more complexity during the migration. But as just mentioned, once we have migrated over to Immutable, it does open up a lot more features and functionality that we would love to start focusing on.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, because I think, it's a lot of work with just the NFT side and things like that. But I remember back then someone said like after that's more like kind of like a well-oiled machine, then you guys will start doing more of the marketing for like the token and things like that.
Yeah, that's right. And I think just to point out to the community, it's been an absolutely wild ride since January, February this year. And now that obviously we've been building the team out and expanding our resources and capability within, and once we get through this Marvel months and through the Immutable migration, hopefully we'll start to see a lot of cool new features roll out.
I do have a question for David on the drops with the comics. He was saying that they're going to be implementing the special a certain amount on a cover for an alternate. So I was curious on how you would go about doing that. Let's say that there's an ultra rare that has 1,000 mints in it, and it has, let's say, 200 of those are the secret cover. Will that 1,000 then drop to 800, and then there be 200 secret rares at that point, or how would that go about?
Yeah, so the way the comics work are very similar to a blind box. So, for example, with some of the Marvel comics that we have coming in the future, they will actually, you will basically buy the comic as you see it in the store,
But before you purchase it, you'll be able to see that there are 5 different cover variants for that particular comic. As you know, anyone out there who's into comics, they probably know that you can get variant covers for particular issues that come out. And we think that's such a big thing in the comic world that we very much wanted to bring that into the digital comic experience as well. So the way it'll work, very similar to Blind Box, you go to the comic screen, you'll click on the Buy Now button, and then you will have a 1 in X chance of getting a common, uncommon, rare, ultra rare, secret rare cover variant. And the specific edition numbers, or the count of the editions for each of those rarities, will be disclosed on the comic description. So you'll know that you'll have a 1 in X chance of potentially securing one of these other rarities.
My question is about the OMI token, and as we transition into the Ethereum blockchain, if you have your token stored on like a private wallet or on a ledger device, is there anything in particular that we need to do on our end, or does it just go all about in the background?
Yes, great question. We will be providing a lot of communication to the community about exactly what needs to happen during the transition or during the migration. Anyone who holds OMI token right now, we did think about doing an automatic swap from the current token to the new token, but there are some inherent problems that can come up around that. So the pathway that we decided was the safest and the best for the audience is that we will have a token swap website platform, very similar to what we have for the WOMI now, and you'll be able to connect that to, say, for example, MetaMask, and send in the existing OMI token, and then that will then be go through a token swap process to the new token, and then once you have that new token, you can then send it out to wherever you want to store it.
So that's the video, my friends. If you've made it this far, thank you for watching, and I am impressed. You truly wanted to learn about your investment or this awesome investment opportunity if you are not already investment. So kudos to you. If you liked and or learned something from the video, or if you enjoyed the video, feel free to leave a like for your bromie to help me out in the YouTube algorithms, and share this video with anybody you think might need to know what's happening with Ecomi. Yeah, man, lots of stuff coming, lots of bullish information in this video, and I mean, what else is there to say that hasn't already been said? Just hodl strong and buy the dip. Not financial advice, because I am not a financial advisor. I'm just sharing my opinions with you guys, so take everything that I say with a grain of salt. And thank you once again for watching, and I'll catch you guys in my next video. I can't wait to see what the next Marvel character will be on the Veve app. Until then, peace out and hodl, my friends. Later.